if you have anything, come out as fast as possible and get it to any detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to. And Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But
it was just after 10 a.m. on May 2nd, 2025, when police in rural Nova Scotia received a chilling call. Two children, 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack, were reported missing from their family home. Their mother, Melihia Brooks Murray, told investigators she believed the children had simply wandered away. Within 30 minutes, RCMP officers were on the scene. According to newly released court documents, the 911 call was placed at 10:01 a.m. by Melihia Brooks Murray from the family's home in Lansdowne Station, a quiet rural community in northeastern Nova Scotia. Police officers arrived at the property by 10:27 a.m., initiating what would soon become one of the province's largest missing persons searches in years. The documents note that while Melihia told police she thought her children had wandered off on their own, the exact time she claimed to have last seen them was redacted from the records. This early uncertainty marked the beginning of an investigation that would span months, involve polygraph examinations, forensic searches, and countless community tips, yet still leave the fate of Lilly and Jack unresolved. Court documents reveal the last confirmed sighting of the children, a Dollarama store visit the day before, May 1st, alongside their mother and stepfather, Daniel Martel. After that, their trail went cold. The court documents indicate that the children were captured on surveillance video at the Dollarama store, showing them with their mother, Melihia Brooks Murray, and stepfather, Daniel Martel. This was the last verified evidence of their whereabouts before they went missing the next day. After leaving the store, there were no confirmed sightings or interactions with anyone outside the family. Investigators relied on witness accounts, neighborhood searches, and tip lines, but the children's exact movements after the Dollarama visit remained unknown. This lack of leads contributed to the urgency and complexity of the investigation. Investigators turned to polygraphs, hoping to rule out foul play. Both Melihia Brooks Murray and Daniel Martel were tested on May 12. The results suggested truthfulness. Even Lilly and Jack's biological father, Cody Sullivan, passed his test in June. With no lies detected, the mystery only deepened. Yet, polygraph results are not admissible in Canadian courts, they remain tools, not proof. Full detail expansion, scene context. According to court documents, the RCMP conducted at least 4 polygraph examinations during the investigation. The first 2, on May 12, involved the children's parents at the Bible Hill detachment in Nova Scotia. Daniel Martel's polygraph indicated that he was truthful throughout the questions asked, while Melihia Brooks Murray's test similarly found her truthful on specific questions, though the exact questions were redacted. Later, on June 12, 2025, Cody Sullivan, the children's biological father, underwent a polygraph and was found to be truthful. Another family member, the children's step-grandmother Janie Mackenzie, also took a polygraph in June, but her physiology was deemed unsuitable for analysis, and no opinion could be rendered. Investigators emphasize that polygraphs are investigative tools, not evidence admissible in Canadian courts, meaning they cannot be used to prove guilt or innocence. Despite the results suggesting honesty from the adults involved, police could not rule out the disappearance being criminal in nature, and the search for Lilly and Jack continued. Then, a disturbing discovery. On May 2nd, just 1 kilometer from the Sullivan home, family members found a pink blanket hanging from a tree. It was confirmed to belong to Lilly. 2 days later, another piece of that same blanket surfaced, this time inside a trash bag at the end of the family's driveway. Despite searches, police dogs found no trace of Lilly or Jack scent near either location. Court documents reveal that the first piece of the pink blanket was discovered by 3 family members along Lansdowne Station Road, approximately 1 kilometer from the children's home. A photo of the blanket was shown to Melihia Brooks Murray and Daniel Martel, both of whom confirmed it belonged to Lilly. Following this, the RCMP dispatched a specially trained sniffer dog to the area to try and detect the children's scent. The dog was unable to pick up any trace of Lilly or Jack, leaving investigators with no physical leads despite the proximity of the blanket to the home. On May 4th, police recovered a second piece of the same blanket from a trash bag at the end of the driveway of the Sullivan home. Forensic analysis later confirmed that both pieces belonged to the same blanket. Despite these findings, the children remained missing, and no further clues were discovered in the immediate area. Investigators widened their search. They sought surveillance from the Cobequid Pass toll highway, hoping to identify any vehicle that may have carried the children out of the province. Tips flooded in, hundreds of them. But none offered a solid lead. Following the discovery of the pink blanket pieces, RCMP investigators broadened their search to cover highways and major transportation routes. One key focus was the Cobequid Pass, a tolled section of highway in Nova Scotia. Police requested access to closed-circuit camera footage from the toll plaza and surrounding areas, covering the period from May 1st at 2:25 p.m. to May 3rd at 3 a.m., hoping to track any vehicles that might have been transporting Lilly and Jack out of the province. Meanwhile, the RCMP established multiple tip lines and encouraged the public to come forward with any information. Within days, investigators were inundated with hundreds of tips, ranging from people claiming to have seen the children in nearby towns to unverified reports that they might have been taken across provincial borders. One tip, received early on May 3rd, suggested that the children might be with their biological father, Cody Sullivan. Although police followed up on this lead, no proof was provided, and the claim could not be verified. The RCMP noted that while every tip was taken seriously, none provided a confirmed sighting or actionable lead, leaving investigators struggling to trace the children's movements after May 1st. The massive volume of tips added another layer of complexity. Each report had to be logged, verified, and cross-checked against known facts, a painstaking process that consumed significant resources. Despite the ongoing public interest and community vigilance, the mystery of Lilly and Jack's whereabouts deepened. Investigators also monitored other possible routes out of Nova Scotia, questioning truck drivers, reviewing gas station footage, and examining transit records in neighboring areas. They hoped that by combining these measures with the toll highway surveillance, any movement of the children outside the province could be identified. Yet, as days turned into weeks, the trail remained cold. Even with hundreds of leads, and despite the intense coordination between RCMP units, nothing concrete emerged. The children's disappearance continued to baffle authorities, leaving the family and the community desperate for answers. Early in the investigation, some even suspected the children's biological father, Cody Sullivan. But he told RCMP he hadn't seen Malihia or the children in 3 years, though he continued paying child support. He insisted he was at home the day they vanished. His polygraph backed his words. As the investigation into Lilly and Jack's disappearance unfolded, early attention naturally turned to the children's biological father, Cody Sullivan. Some tips suggested he might have been involved or had taken the children, prompting police to bring him in for questioning. During his interview, Sullivan told investigators that he had not seen Malihia Brooks Murray, his former partner, or the children in 3 years, contradicting some early claims from other sources. He clarified that although he maintained child support payments, he had no contact with the children since the separation. Sullivan further stated that he had been at home on May 2, 2025, the day the children were reported missing, and had not traveled anywhere. Police noted that he was known for rarely leaving his residence, and there were no witnesses or surveillance suggesting otherwise. To corroborate his account, the RCMP conducted a polygraph examination on June 12, 2025. According to court documents, Sullivan's answers were found to be truthful, reinforcing his statements that he had no involvement in the children's disappearance. Despite this, the investigation remained cautious. Investigators explained in the documents that passing a polygraph does not definitively rule someone out as a suspect, it is merely one tool among many used to guide the investigation. Every detail, including alibis and timelines, needed to be carefully verified. Adding complexity, investigators also had to reconcile conflicting information from Malihia Brooks Murray, family members, and other tips. While Sullivan's account was consistent, the RCMP could not ignore the possibility that the children had been removed by someone else in the family or community. During this period, police were conducting thorough background checks, analyzing phone records, and tracking bank activity. They aimed to piece together any movements around May 2nd that could lead to the children. Every conversation with neighbors, extended family, and friends was logged and reviewed to find inconsistencies or leads. Even with Sullivan's verified alibi and polygraph results, investigators remained vigilant. They continued to consider all possible avenues, including accidental wandering, third-party involvement, or even the chance of a stranger taking the children. Every potential scenario had to be explored, given the lack of concrete evidence and the ongoing public concern. This segment of the investigation highlighted the delicate balance between suspicion and verified facts. While Sullivan's honesty was confirmed through polygraph and consistent testimony, the RCMP still faced the daunting challenge of locating two missing children with no confirmed sightings beyond the previous day's Dollarama visit. By mid-June, investigators had narrowed their focus to wider regional searches, surveillance footage, and community tips, but Cody Sullivan remained cleared of any wrongdoing, supported by both his statements and the polygraph examination. Yet, for the community and the family, the absence of the children and the unanswered questions about their whereabouts continued to fuel fear, uncertainty, and hope for a breakthrough. Then came a possible breakthrough. A woman named Natasha Haywood reported seeing two children that morning, a girl with dark hair and pigtails, holding hands with a younger boy in shorts. They were walking toward a woman in her 50s, standing beside an older tan or gold sedan with its back door open. Police met with her weeks later to retrace the sighting. But her description of the children's ages didn't quite match Lilly and Jack. In the early hours of May 2, 2025, a potential lead emerged that offered a glimmer of hope in the ongoing search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Natasha Haywood, a local resident, reported that she had seen two young children walking along the side of a rural road. According to her statement, the girl had dark hair tied in pigtails, and the younger boy wore shorts. Haywood described the children as walking toward a woman in her 50s, who stood next to an older tan or gold sedan with the back door open. The sighting suggested the children may have been approaching someone unknown, potentially offering a clue to their whereabouts. Investigators treated this tip with serious attention, understanding that it could be the first solid lead in weeks. Weeks after the initial report, RCMP officers met with Haywood near the corner of Gairloch Road and Lansdowne Station Road, retracing the route she had observed the children taking. They sought to verify her recollection and determine whether the children she saw could indeed have been Lilly and Jack. During follow-up interviews, Haywood elaborated on her initial description. She estimated the children's ages, roughly 9 or 10 for the girl, and 5 for the boy, which did not precisely match Lilly and Jack, who were 6 and 4 years old, respectively. This discrepancy introduced a degree of uncertainty, leaving investigators cautious about assuming the sighting involved the missing siblings. Nevertheless, the lead prompted a series of investigative actions. Police canvassed nearby neighborhoods for residents who might have seen the same children. Officers reviewed local traffic and home security cameras for that morning, focusing on areas along the route Haywood had described. The RCMP also re-interviewed other witnesses and attempted to match the description of the woman in her 50s and the tan/gold vehicle with anyone in the community who might have had contact with children. Despite these efforts, investigators were unable to confirm the identities of the children. No additional sightings matched Haywood's account, and the vehicle and adult described remained unidentified. Still, the report highlighted the possibility that Lilly and Jack may have been outside the immediate family environment, raising new questions about who may have been involved. This segment of the investigation illustrated both the challenges and complexities of missing persons cases in rural communities. Even when a seemingly promising lead appeared, investigators had to meticulously verify every detail, compare it with known facts, and explore all possible explanations, while the clock continued to tick and the children remained missing. For weeks, the RCMP continued to pursue the Haywood sighting as part of a larger strategy of following every tip, reviewing surveillance, and questioning community members. The sighting became a focal point for the ongoing investigation, even as other leads proved inconclusive, emphasizing the painstaking and methodical approach required in trying to locate Lilly and Jack. More than 3 months later, the fate of Lilly and Jack Sullivan remains unknown. Despite blanket fragments, polygraphs, and countless leads, no trace of the children has been found. The newly released court documents reveal more questions than answers. For their family, their community, and all of Nova Scotia, the search for truth continues. By late August 2025, over 3 months had passed since the disappearance of 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack from their rural home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. Despite the exhaustive efforts of the RCMP, the children had not been located. Investigators had conducted extensive searches of wooded areas, surrounding roads, and local neighborhoods, but no definitive trace of Lilly or Jack had been found. The discovery of 2 pieces of Lilly's pink blanket had initially provided hope, but forensic analysis and searches with trained dogs yielded no evidence of the children's presence near those locations. Multiple polygraph examinations, including tests for the children's mother, stepfather, step-grandmother, and biological father, suggested honesty from all family members involved, yet did not provide clarity or concrete leads. The RCMP had also collected hundreds of tips from the public, ranging from potential sightings to information about suspicious vehicles. One key report from Natasha Haywood described seeing 2 children walking toward a woman beside a tan or gold sedan. Investigators retraced her account and canvassed nearby areas, but none of the leads could be corroborated, and the trail went cold repeatedly. The recently released court documents added layers of complexity, revealing requests for surveillance footage from highways like the Cobequid Pass to track possible movement of the children out of Nova Scotia. Details about polygraph results for various family members, showing no evidence of deception but leaving questions unanswered. Witness statements and tips that could not be verified, highlighting the difficulty of separating fact from speculation in the investigation. For the Sullivan family, the emotional toll had been immense. The uncertainty of not knowing whether Lilly and Jack were safe, lost, or in danger weighed heavily. Community members in Lansdowne Station and surrounding areas had mobilized, joining in search parties, distributing posters, and keeping vigilant watch over roads and local areas, hoping for a sighting or breakthrough. The case had captured the attention of Nova Scotia and the wider Canadian public, reflecting the vulnerability of children in rural areas and the importance of rapid, thorough investigative responses. Police and investigators continued to analyze phone records, banking activity, and CCTV footage, working to reconstruct every possible movement the children may have made before disappearing. Yet, despite months of meticulous investigation, the children's fate remained unknown. Every lead, every search, and every polygraph offered pieces of information but no definitive answers. For the family, every unanswered question added to the pain of waiting, hoping, and searching. For the RCMP, the case remained active and open, with officers committed to following every lead and revisiting evidence as new information emerged. For the community and the province, the disappearance underscored both the fragility of children's safety and the complexity of missing persons investigations in remote areas. More than 3 months later, the fate of Lilly and Jack Sullivan remains unknown. Despite blanket fragments, polygraphs, and countless leads, no trace of the children has been found. The newly released court documents reveal more questions than answers. For their family, their community, and all of Nova Scotia, the search for truth continues.